welcome to the Forbes India Cover Story podcast series in association with theindicast.com. My name is Abhishek, and this issue is among the most sought after ones, among the youthful ones, you may say so in many ways. 30 under 30 covers 30 individuals under the age of 30 who've made a mark in their respective fields, whether in sports, business, science, music, filmmaking. Joining me on the call is Forbes India's Ruchika Shah to talk about it. Hi, Ruchika, welcome back.
Hi, Abhishek. Thanks for this.
Thanks. Ruchika, I think Forbes India is known for its big lists, whether they are celebrities or rich list throughout the year, where there are big names. In the case of 30 under 30, you've got folks who are quite young, far younger perhaps than the journalists who cover them. No big names, but quite a few big ideas. What does this list mean to you as journalists and staff writers who put it together year after year?
Thank you so much for the question, Abhishek. Actually, it is quite a special list. Working at Forbes India, our team of writers, reporters, editors, we deal with success stories on a daily basis. Multiple times a year, we find ourselves in the same room with game changers, with some of the richest and the most successful business people. All of that is very inspiring, definitely. But if I were to point out one time of the year, Abhishek, if I were to say on behalf of the entire team, when we are awestruck, then it is when we are working on 30 under 30 list. Every year, when we sift through hundreds of nominations, you will find somebody or the other in the team wondering what have we achieved so far. These sub 30 somethings have all created a formidable name for themselves, a formidable business with only one goal in mind. Their goal is to stand out of the crowd.
Just before we started recording, you also spoke about how this comes at an interesting time in India where the youth have taken up charge to figure out where the country should be headed.
Right. I think this list comes at a really important time. If we look at what's happening around us, it is the young ones, the students, the young professionals, and sometimes even younger kids, like not just the 20s and the under 30s, who are standing shoulder to shoulder to protest against the Citizenship Amendment Act in India. And many of them are women, if not most, who are leading the charge and lending solidarity to their brethren, who have faced brutality. So our list of 30 under 30 members are showing the way forward on a different road and to a different group, if I were to say. And they are going to lead the charge and show traditional and legacy businesses and professionals across different categories like technology, healthcare, finance, science, media, take fashion, take sports, take entertainment, and so on. They are going to show the way forward with their innovations, their fresh business models, and their fresh set of eyes.
And they don't come any fresher than Saurabh Chaudhary, whom you covered. He's just 17 years of age, and he's on your list. Is he among the youngest
He is the
ever?
youngest, actually. Yes. Not youngest ever, even last year. Meghna Mishra, the singer, was 17. But yes, Saurabh Chaudhary this year is 17. And he is a really shy teenager. He comes from the Meerut district. He is going to the Tokyo Olympics. He won 2 golds in the 2018 Asian Games and has 2 world records against his name.
One thing that his coach talks about is how he doesn't let this go to his head and how discipline is important to it all. And you also have Deepak Punia, who's just 21, and he too will be headed to the Olympics in wrestling.
Yes. So Deepak Punia is 21 years old. Again, he comes from a very humble family. And in August 2019, he became the first Indian in 18 years to win a junior world championship. So he's a world champion. And he was also named the Junior Wrestler of the Year by the United World Wrestling, that's the association. When the Junior World Championship was happening, he was so determined to win that gold that he played despite getting a shoulder injury in the semifinals. So that is something that we can really look up to and it gives you goosebumps.
You bet. The article talks about how his father is a milkman and mother a homemaker. How do you go about, selecting these names? What is the methodology given that you will be pitched ideas from across? I'm sure you'd have your own sources. So how do you figure out these are the 30 ones?
So over the years, our criteria has not changed. What we are essentially looking for are people who are creating something unique and disrupting the norms. Since you're under 30, profitability for us is not a criteria if you're looking at entrepreneurs and their startups, but we look at the revenue model, their business model to assess whether it's a viable business model and whether it'll make it, over the longer term. So we are assessing the viability and we also look at the scalability of their ideas. So like I said, profit is not important. What is important that it's not a copycat model. It is something new. It is trying to solve a problem. It is unique and whether it's scalable or not. So that is what we're looking at. And again, let me say profitability can give you an edge over the other nominations, but the lack of it is not a disadvantage. So that is what we look at. And the methodology, like you said, is that we do talk to different sources in relevant categories. We talk to experts. We talk to different businessmen who are in that category. We go through news reports. We put out a nomination form for professionals and entrepreneurs. The nomination form is available on Forbes in their website, on our social media. We promote it aggressively for about 2 months. And so people can either nominate themselves or they can nominate somebody they know. And we have jury members for each category. This year, we had a long list of about 255 names across 17 categories. We then did our own, like I said, what we're looking for, those are all our filters. So we applied those filters and we brought that down to 85 names. Then those 85 names were sent to different jury experts. Then the experts do their own due diligence and pick the top three and send it back to us. And then we have our meetings and we talk to our editor, Brian. We discuss, we argue, and then we bring that down to 30. We have 17 categories this year. There's one brand new category, and that is digital content creators to make sure that we're keeping up with the trend of social media creators and influencers. So that's a brand new category, and you should look out for the winners. The list will be live on Feb 4th on ForbesIndia.com.
Right.
So it's a tedious process, but it's a lot of fun.
Yes, and among the names that caught my attention was you've done this story coincidentally is that 1441 Pizzeria, which is right around the corner where I live, and I had
Okay.
no idea that the founder Krishna Gupta was just 27. Most stories begin with the founder stumbling upon an idea when he says, "Ah, this is something that I should take back to India." Isn't his something similar?
Yes, so it's really interesting. And I also believe that a lot of good ideas come when you're traveling. It doesn't happen when you're busy planning life. It happens when you just let go. This story kind of hit home a little close to home. So Krishna Gupta and his father have made it a habit of traveling around the world, and they go looking for the best pizza. So they have gone to different parts within India, outside India, and everywhere it was like, okay, this is good, but not good enough. And this was in Florence, Italy, a couple of years ago. I think it was in 2013, when they stumbled across this joint on the side of the road. It was nondescript, but there was a 40 to 50 minute line outside. So obviously they joined the line, assuming it's going to be good. And this pizza was €7, which is not very expensive. €7 for a pizza, and they waited for the 40, 45 minutes. They got the pizza, and he says that they finally found the best pizza they'd ever had. It was simple. It was made in a wood oven. It had great ingredients, and again, it was cheap. So that is what inspired him to bring that experience home. So when you look at 1441 Pizzeria and people who do, go there, one of the things that stands out is that they have wood ovens. So they have created this entire experience of bringing Italy back to India. Their interiors make you feel like you're in a small, nice, cozy bistro in Italy. They have one offering which is called the Make Your Own Pizza, where they allow customers to add as many toppings as they want at a fixed price. And these are good ingredients. The key over here is not just unlimited ingredients, but it's also quality ingredients. So they have cheeses that come from Italy. They have tomatoes that are flown down from Italy. The flour for the dough comes from Italy. The wood ovens are designed by an Italian designer. And it's not just make your own pizza where you can order that, okay, add these many toppings, but they invite you behind the counter. So you can be along with the chef, you can knead the dough, you can stretch the dough, you can add your own toppings, you can add your own sauces, and you can, help them put it in the oven. So it's an entire experience that you will not forget.
Yes, and so in other words, unlike having to make pizzas on an assembly line, which some companies have there as a strategy, theirs is more about quality, bringing in the best ingredients, and then it's a good marketing ploy as well to have something called MYOP, or make your own pizza, as you say. Any other highlights? I'm afraid we won't obviously have the time to go through all the stories in the interest of time.
Yes, like I said, that we have professionals and entrepreneurs. So it is important to even highlight the professionals. These are young people under 30 who are making a name for themselves in the companies that they're working at. Take, for example, Vikash Bakrewala, who is only 19 and he's the youngest sales leader at B9 Beverages. That's the makers of Bira and Boom beers. Then, if you look at the entrepreneurs side, you have Deepak Kukreja, Ullas Samrat, Dhruv Khanna. These guys have started Triton Foodworks. And it's really interesting. What they're doing is they're growing different plants without using any soil. So there's no soil. And what they essentially can achieve is that they are surpassing the limitations of land, fertility, and the method uses 60 to 80% less water. Then there is, when we're talking about data security, data privacy, there's 27-year-old Gaurish Singla of Shivom, which is a healthcare startup. And what it essentially does, it uses blockchain technology in genomics to ensure that pharmaceuticals can get genetic data, but the source, that is the customer, like my genetic data, the pharmaceutical company will not know that this data belongs to Ruchika or Abhishek. And so the customer remains unknown, and I'm also incentivized for giving that data. So research can continue and data privacy is maintained. So that's very interesting. And if I were to just like end at the the last one, this podcast by Ameya Advita and Shishir Kopakar, they are 29 and 30 years old. They run software as a service venture. And what Squadcast does is that they ensure that the IT systems of large companies and enterprises keep running without any glitches. Now, this is very important today. So it can fix minor issues like your web page is not loading, your photos not rendering. It can also handle a massive breakdown in the payment system. So they started in 2017 and they have large e-commerce companies in India as clients, and even a few companies from the Silicon Valley are their clients. Also, like I said earlier, the Forbes India 30 under 30 list can be intimidating and it gives us all a reality check. But the most important lesson here is of grit and determination, and that everyone starts as a small fish in the pond. And those are the lessons that we want everyone to walk away with.
Great. I think on that note, it's time to wrap up. Thank you very much, Ruchika, for your time on this one.
Thank you, Abhishek.
Thank you. And listeners, you can get this podcast on Forbes India and on iTunes. And to have somebody call you for a Forbes India subscription, message Forbes to 51818.